So many of us, we believe that being human is a problem we have to solve. Okay? That there's some sort of fix that will make me different than this. I was an extremely sensitive child, and I don't think that at the time I had the tools or the resources that are necessary for a sensitive human being to make it through the world. And I think that our culture teaches us that it's only okay to be happy, right? That success equals happiness. And so what that does to us is it makes us numb and hide and deflect all the rest of the parts of being human, right? So we don't learn as kids that it's okay to be angry, and it's okay to be sad, and it's okay to be lost and jealous, and all of those other parts that somehow we end up feeling ashamed of, when really they're just natural parts of the human experience. And so since I didn't know all of that, and I did have big feelings, which I've always had, I thought that I needed to numb all of that. And so I found food very early. I became bulimic because I found that food was a way just to numb out all of my muchness. And then that changed to alcoholism. And really what happened is that I got sober when I was 25. And that was very scary for me because I realized over time, oh, what if food and alcohol wasn't the problem? What if I am the problem? I thought that happiness and joy and gratitude were for feeling, and that fear and shame and anger and pain were for numbing or denying or deflecting. So sobriety for me is just the daily practice of insisting that it's okay to feel everything. Being human is not about feeling happy, it's about feeling everything. In-between times have always been the hardest for me. Okay, so what I'm talking about is any sort of transition time, any time where I'm losing this identity and going into this identity. And college for me was one of the biggest in-between times for me. It's hard, there's no definition there. You're like just outside of your house, but not totally free. You've got a little bit more independence, but you're still dependent. And I will tell you this, especially for highly sensitive people, transition times are really hard. People will tell you what they think you should do. Your parents will have ideas. Your professors will have ideas. Your friends will have ideas. There's going to be a lot of shoulds, a lot of supposed tos. And if you constantly rely on the voices outside of you, you will always be living someone else's life. Because there's no way to get away from the fact that every single person is living an unprecedented and unrepeatable experiment. Right? That nobody else has ever lived the life that you are living with your talents and weaknesses and strengths and past and trauma and all of it, that there is no map, right? That every single last one of us are pioneers, and the only way that you can live your life in a way where you are not asking other people for directions to places they've never been is to find time in your life where you are blocking out every single voice on the outside and you are practicing listening for that inner voice. And I don't know how to describe it. I only know it for myself. For me, it's a gravitational pull. It's like a gravity that sets in, that is always kind of nudging me towards the next right thing, one thing at a time. I think some people call this inner voice God, some call it spirit, some call it gut instinct, some people call it intuition. That is how you make sure you're not living somebody else's life. There are things that we do as human beings that take us away from ourselves, okay? All of us have them, okay? It's like when we start feeling what Pema Chodron calls the hot loneliness of being human, when we start feeling our angst and our humanity and our feelings, we have these things we reach for. For me, it was binging and alcohol and drugs. For some people, it's sex. For some people, it's shopping. For some people, it's snark. For all of us, it's scroll, 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 right? The second we feel our hot loneliness, we think, oh, I need to check on Facebook and see what my friend from second grade is doing and how his vacation to Bermuda is going, right? It's like, and we're out of that angsty place. Except all of our fuel that we need to become the person we're going to be next is inside the angst of now. So being human is this really ridiculous system of having to stay with our uncomfortable feelings if we ever want to be the people we're meant to be down here. All we really have is who we are, right? All we really have is what's in here and what's truest to us. And so one of the most important things in my entire life is to be a person who makes space for other people to be themselves. I think that college is such a beautiful place to practice a wider, truer, deeper kind of love, which means you bring your full self to me and I will believe you. When you tell me who you are, I will believe you first. And I will honor you. I will ask you how best I can make you feel loved and held. One of the ways that you can make sure that you don't lose yourself completely, even in turbulent times like college, is to have a space, an hour, a place where you can see yourself. And what I mean by that is this: the first time I ever got out of a computer and started writing, my inner self jumped out of my skin and onto the computer, and I could see myself for the first time. What I know is if you do not want to lose yourself in turbulent, transitional times like college, you have got to have a space and a place where you remember, where you hear the words that are coming out of your mouth, where you catch a glimpse of yourself and you go, there she is.